Alright, hello guys. So today I will be going through how I created this Motion Arts logo in Blender. And so the first thing you might notice is that I'm using a basic 3-point lighting system. This is my key light, that's my fill light, and this is my edge light. So, or backlight I guess, but it's not in the back because that wouldn't create an actual edge on the image. For whatever reason, the lighting physics are kind of weird in Blender, or maybe I'm just doing it wrong, I don't know. But if we go into rendered, you can see we have this very dynamic lighting, and it's also colored. It's using teal and orange, which is a color grading technique that most of you colorists out there might know about. And so basically teal and orange is adding teal to the highlights and shadows, and then adding orange to the midtones. And you can see how I'm doing that here. I'm using the fill light over here to add this orange here, here, and here, and also on these letters. And then the key light and also the edge light are using teal. So let me go more in depth on what I am talking about here. So you can see, if we go over to lighting effects, this is a very harsh teal right here, and its strength is set pretty high, but it's also a very focused light. It's set to point, as you can see. And this key light is a much more subtle teal color. It's actually probably more white than teal. And then we can see, and this color is actually yellow that's brought back down, but on the actual thing it looks orange. So if we switch over, it's a very much more orangey color, which is why I chose it to be that way. So I'm using a anamorphic camera here, stretching it by 1.333, and it's 4K. So if you were interested in that, that's that. And so let me go into the texture here, the texturing that I did for the Motion Arts logo. And so if we go into the node editor, if I can find it, there it is. You can see I'm using a metal image texture here, metal.jpg. And so we can see what that does when I remove it and show you how it looks without it. So you can see right away there's a difference. And when we go into rendered, it's even more obvious. There's way, across the board, just way less interesting in terms of its visual style. But if we go back to node editor and we reattach this, you can see it's much more interesting now. This is kind of a glossy texture to it, which makes it look very interesting. And also these have the texture applied to them as well, although I don't quite know what's going on. They don't quite have it, but it looked cool, so I kept it. And yeah, that's basically the lighting and texturing setup for these. Oh, one more thing. For the text, I did some offset, extrude, and depth stuff for the Ocean Arts, and then for the M, I did just a depth change because it already had enough, visual interest to it with the texture. And if you're wondering how I got this here, these two lines, it's just underscores that are moved very close to the M itself, and it's creating a solid, continuous M. And that's how I did that. But anyway, I hope you guys found this sort of in-depth tutorial, I guess, useful. And I will see you later.